press freedom. Press freedom, kayo yung number one magnanakaw, ayaw nyo sa uli yung propiedad, press freedom. You're bullshit. Mukha kayong pera. Kakapal ang mukha ninyo, kayong taga-media. You know? You want to know my sentiments? Fuck you.
The Duterte government is setting a new normal in its antagonistic relationship with Philippine media. In Rodrigo Duterte's first 22 months, 4 media groups record at least 85 cases of attacks and threats against the press.
Our groups have recorded the killing of 9 journalists, 16 libel cases, 14 cases of online harassment, 11 death threats, 6 slay attempts, 6 cases of harassment, 5 cases of intimidation, 4 cases of website attack, revoked registration or denied franchise renewal, verbal abuse, strafing, and police surveillance of journalists and media agencies.
First to feel Duterte's anger, the newspaper with the largest circulation, the Philippine Daily Inquirer. In his first State of the Nation address in 2016, Duterte denounces the Inquirer's Pieta-like front page photo of a victim of his war on drugs.
And you are portrayed in a broadsheet na parang Mother Mary cradling the dead cadaver of Jesus Christ. Ayan yung mga yan eh. Magdramahan tayo dito.
In March 2017, Duterte once again publicly rants against the newspaper over reports he insists are unfair.
Inquirer, you've never been fair. Bastos kayo. Pati ABS-CBN bastos.
Duterte eventually focuses his tirades on the owners of the Inquirer, accusing the Prieto family of owing the government 8 billion pesos in taxes.
Yang Inquirer, I don't know, but meron akong natanggap na balita na may binili ng lupa yan sa gobyerno, ang binayaran lang sweetheart deal dahil nga they went for Cory during kalaban nila sa Makati. It's an alley in Makati.
Not long after, the Prietos announced it is in talks to sell their majority share in the Inquirer to Ramon Ang, a businessman friend of the president. Duterte also turns his ire on the country's biggest TV network, ABS-CBN. In April 2017, President Duterte warns that he will block the renewal of ABS-CBN's franchise, which is set to expire in 2020.
It's Staffa, swindling not only me, but si Escudero, pati si marami pa yan. Inutso ninyo, utang ina harapan magkolekta kayo tapos istapa ninyo kami.
Duterte accuses the network of swindling, claiming ABS-CBN did not show his political ads during the 2016 campaign season, even though these were already paid for.
Kailangan lang ng tapang at malasakit.
Duterte!
Rodrigo Roa Duterte, President of the Republic of the Philippines.
During his second State of the Nation address in July 2017, Duterte echoes a popular yet false claim by his online defenders that Rappler is fully owned by Americans, a violation of the 1987 Constitution.
Pag in newspaper ka, you are supposed to be 100% Filipino. And yet, when you start to pierce their identity, it is pala fully owned by Americans.
In January 2018, the Securities and Exchange Commission announces it is revoking Rappler's license to operate for allegedly violating the Constitution and the anti-dummy law. Rappler's case is pending before the Court of Appeals. In one of his frequent rants, Duterte calls Rappler a fake news outlet and eventually bans Rappler from entering the palace and covering him in public places.
Rappler, your articles are ripe with innuendos and pregnant with falsity. But since you are a fake news outlet, then I am not surprised that your articles are also fake.
Di ba ako pwede pumasok?
Yun ang sinabi.
Mayroon po akong MPC ID.
Hindi po ma'am yun ang
Ha?
yun ang sinabi.
Ako lang? Ako lang yung hindi pwedeng pumasok?
It doesn't stop there. After the SEC decision, several other government agencies go after Rappler, accusing the website of libel and tax evasion. In April 2018, the Philippine government also bars journalists of the Foreign Correspondents Association of the Philippines from covering a press conference in Singapore.
To the Filipino people, maraming salamat po. Alam mo,
Rodrigo Duterte is the first candidate to effectively harness social media to win the presidency. As early as July 2016, the same network that put him in power is weaponized, targeting journalists and anyone deemed critical of the president. All the newsroom attacks happen in this highly charged political climate where state propaganda, boosted by trolls and click farms, systematically target dissent. Rappler's data shows a surge in the use of the words bayaran or being paid, dilawan or being pro-liberal party and biased on social media. At its peak, the term bias is used in 30,000 comments in a single day. Within groups and pages Rappler monitored, almost 50,000 posts and more than 1.8 million comments used the term bayaran. By August 2016, key figures from the Duterte campaign popularized another term used in attacks: prostitutes, a wordplay of press and prostitute. This graph shows a spike in the use of the word prostitute after Duterte defenders spread the meme. Facebook posts of journalists and activists deemed critical of Duterte and his allies are also being mass reported. Facebook responds by taking down these posts. Cyber attacks are also used against news organizations. The website of Codao Productions is hacked while Verifiles is taken down by a distributed denial of service or DDoS attack, shortly after posting a story critical of Duterte. For reporting that the president likened himself to dictator Adolf Hitler, mugshots of Reuters correspondents Manny Mogato and Karen Lema are spread on social media. Mogato's Facebook account is also hacked and defaced by still unidentified groups. The hackers changed his cover photo to that of a pro-Duterte Facebook page logo and celebrity pro-Duterte blogger Mocha Uson. In September 2017, trolls target veteran journalist Karen Davila after she makes a comment about the president's son, Paulo Duterte. The younger Duterte is implicated in a Bureau of Customs drug trafficking controversy. A senator claims his tattoo is proof of his membership in a Chinese triad. Paulo's reply to Davila smacks of sexist innuendo. He'll show her his tattoo on the condition that it will just be the two of them in a hotel room. In November 2017, Inquirer journalist Patricia Ann Rojas writes about a rally denouncing the president's war on drugs organized by Roman Catholic priests and nuns. A Duterte propagandist tags her story as fake news, accusing her of using a photo from another rally to mislead readers. This messaging is quickly echoed by Duterte's keyboard army online. Others copy-paste the incendiary post and re-upload the photo. Rojas maintains the photos she took are real. She also asks the columnist to correct the mistake and apologize publicly. The columnist only takes down his post. The attacks on Rojas continue long after that. Female journalists are frequent targets of misogynistic attacks online. For comments and critical reports that don't sit well with the president's supporters, rappers Pia Renada and Maria Ressa and Al Jazeera's Jamela Alindogan were often memed and insulted in social media. The attacks against Renada, Alindogan, and Ressa are personal and focused on their looks. Alindogan is tagged as retocada, a derogatory Filipino word for people who underwent plastic surgery. They show before and after photos of Alindogan. The before photo is not her. Renada receives death and rape threats and featured in sexualized memes.
Pia Renada Robles, tarantada ka. You are publishing fake information. Journalist ka pa man din.
Ressa is maligned for her Filipino-American background, her looks, and her skin. She receives as many as 90 hate messages per hour. Many of these online attacks were led by influential bloggers and propagandists who set the tone, messaging, and the target. Veteran journalist Raisa Robles has been on the receiving end of attacks and harassment by pro-Duterte social media personalities and netizens since May 2016. Robles is a vocal critic of Duterte's war on drugs and his political party's plans to push for charter change. Since May 2016, social media personalities have been challenging Robles' credibility as a journalist. She is accused of being a propagandist for the opposition and her stories tagged as fake news. Some posts and comments graphically wish for her death. Where reality comes up short, the propaganda machinery invents. Pro-Duterte pages also spread the meme that insinuates collusion between Renada and Robles because the latter is supposedly her mother-in-law. Renada's husband carries the same surname as Robles. These online attacks, as well as the Duterte administration's tirades against the media, prove effective in discrediting journalists and the legitimate issues they report on. According to the Ion Group's 2017 Philippine Trust Index, extreme trust in the Philippine government almost triples since 2015. For decades, trust in the media had been considerably higher. But as trust in the government soars, public confidence in the media drops. For the first time in the index's history, trust in the government is at par with the media. The study also shows that the majority of online conversations about the media involve government-related issues, with government personalities often lambasting the media. Journalist organizations, international publications, legislators, and human rights groups here and abroad voice concern over creeping media repression in the Philippines. The Philippines also slides 6 spots in the 2018 World Press Freedom Index by media watchdog Reporters Without Borders. Despite all these, the Duterte administration insists democracy and press freedom is alive and well in the country.
Our record will stand for itself. We have taken steps po para pangalagaan ang buhay ng mga mamamahayag. Wala naman po tayong pinakukulong ng mga mamamahayag. Ang presidente hindi nagdedemanda ng libel.
Tangina itong time magazine na to. Nilagay ako doon sa mga despot. Hindi naman ako, diktador ba ako? Since when? Since when did I send somebody to prison for just talking against me? Sige nga.
But the data tells a different story. Duterte has single-handedly eroded public trust in the media. His administration weaponized the internet from a marketplace of ideas to a toxic environment of hate, misogyny, and intolerance. It also uses its political power to intimidate and muzzle the press through online attacks and tri-media attacks, legal harassment, attempts at corporate takeovers, and threats of franchise shutdowns. But despite the threats, journalists are standing their ground.
Have you ever been harassed because of your work?
Yes.
Have you been threatened online?
Ay, oo.
Have you been called biased?
Yes.
Have you been called stupid?
Yes, plenty times. By idiots.
Have you been called disrespectful?
Yes.
Have you been accused of corruption?
Yes.
Have you been called ugly as a response to any story?
Yes.
Have you been called fake news?
Oh yeah, they always say I'm fake news. Anything that's critical is fake, right?
Have you been accused of being an imperialist spy?
Yes.
Have you been accused of being a communist operative?
Yes.
Have you been accused of working for the CIA?
Yes.
Have you been sexually harassed as a journalist?
Yes.
Has your family been threatened, harassed, or alluded to?
Yes, it has. Specifically my daughter. When she died, there were a lot of people who made fun of that.
Have you been threatened with rape?
Yes.
Yes.
No, not me, but my family.
Have you been threatened with violence?
Yes.
Have you been threatened with death?
Yes.
Have you been told how you're going to be killed?
Yes.
Has the violence been described to you?
Yeah, blow my head off or bury me alive.
What will stop you from reporting?
Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
Death?
Did you have to kill me?